Sorry.
How do we know? How do I know?
Yeah,
I feel like
It must be.
it says it in the top corner.
No,
Oh,
it's
We're
here
live
it
right
is.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are.
Classic.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Well,
I
so
see
far.
Jamie, and I see two people also there, but one of them might be me because it's up.
I'm gonna pull mine up.
I think I also have it up.
Well, I don't know how. I think I'm gonna pull up my phone so I can like message as well, because having it both on one screen is like no idea.
Can be a bit disorienting. I don't know why it's not like. Oh, okay. Yes, it's working now for me at least.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
working.
Yes.
Okay, yay. So,
It's working now.
Okay. I don't
oh
want to
my
hear it.
goodness, more people. Hi. This is gonna be the live show for the Trial by Fire read along, which I did with my 4 beautiful co-hosts. Jade is gonna be a little late. Her boss made her stay late at work, so
Rude.
she'll be a little late, but she'll be here. So.
Yeah.
But I guess I just wanted to start by saying thank you to my co-hosts and thank you to anyone that participated or read. So yeah, maybe we can get into star readings.
Ooh. I didn't even actually. I finished it. Ooh, did I finish it? Yes. When did I finish this? I think I finished it. Yes. Oh, my days are confused. Did I give it a star rating? I don't know if I gave it a star rating yet.
Jade, you're only like 30 seconds late.
Okay, cool. I still have to feed my cat. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna feed my cat.
Okay. Oh. Why is she the cutest? Okay.
Honestly, I find it such an accomplishment that I finished this because I've been so busy, and like to find the time, I managed to still like find the time, and that just makes me so happy personally. So
I'm glad you finished it.
cats come first.
Cats always come first. Let's be honest.
Right.
Mine hopped away.
I'm sharing.
He's camera shy.
Where is this? So, okay, Cait, what did you think of like,
Star wise?
yeah.
Okay, so everyone knows that I'm terrible at star rating.
You are.
Mhm.
So, I mean, obviously, I am still reading it. Okay, everybody, I'm not done. All right, I'm still working. So, today, not always this bad, but I'm still like 70 pages or something like that away. But it looks like it's going to be, you know, a 5-star or like really close to a 5-star. I mean, there's still, you know, there's always a couple things, but like it's one that I would give a 5-star to. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, because it's usually if I don't give it a 5-star, something actually makes me angry or like I wasn't able to read it. And I was able to read this and I'm not angry. So,
Oh,
I mean, I'm angry in general as a human being, but not.
so your 5-star rate is it didn't make you mad.
It didn't make me mad, and I enjoyed the experience.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's Cait, who wants to go next.
I'm trying to figure out where she is.
I'm actually like maybe 80 pages. Anyway, but 296 is where I am. So everything is going to be spoilers past that for me, and I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm curious as to like exactly.
Oh my god. There's one really big thing that I keep thinking of. That I'm just like, oh, I can't. I feel like it's sound.
It's Madison.
Madison is always haunting us.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no.
And this time it's gonna be live, and you'll see.
I'm even in like a different, like last time we did this, I was at my parents' place. Like I'm even in my, like I don't understand what it must be like my laptop.
Well, viewers, it might happen a couple more times where Madison overtakes the live show with strange noises and possession, but it's fine.
Was anyone murdered in your home?
Oh my god.
Or anyone that died violently?
Maybe it must be like in like my laptop, like some like evil laptop spirit.
I think it's inside Madison.
Like,
Jade.
oh god, that was harsh. I was thinking more like, you know, in the Golden Compass, how they like trap those like spirits in like that metal tin, and there's that angry buzzing noise. Maybe that's what's going on with your computer. Just saying.
Google this and figure it
Anyway.
out.
Well,
Alright,
thanks, Madison, since you decided to possess us, you can go next.
I was tossing back and forth, and I think at this point, I think that I would definitely enjoy the next book a lot more than I would enjoy this one, just because I feel like there was just a lot in this book that was a build-up and kind of learning everything. And so because I believe that I would give the next book a higher rating, I'm going to go with like a 3.5, I think.
I can see that. It's very character-driven.
Yes.
At the beginning,
it's very
and then
like,
more action-y at the end.
Like those last, like I was tempted to like bump up like this last like 100 pages. I was like, I did like those last. Those were good.
Okay. So Leah, do you want to go? I know you have some critiques, but do you want to go next?
I'm also sorry that I started with that right before the show. Anyway, after I said it, I was like, this was also a bad time. There's no good time. Anyway, I also really struggle with star ratings because I'm like, what do they mean though? And so I don't know. I want to echo what Madison said about thinking that the second book might be better. I think what Josephine and Angelini tried to do with this book was really ambitious. And for me personally, in terms of like some of the writing style and that sort of thing, I loved the themes. I thought that was really interesting. I liked parts of like what she did with the world, but some of the writing just didn't quite connect with me. So maybe like a 2.5 or 3. I'm so sorry.
No, when I've looked at ratings and reviews on like Goodreads of this book, I think it's either like a love or hate book, or like I really like it, or like I really don't really like it. So I knew it was gonna be like a coin flip kind of thing. So I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised.
It makes me want to pull a blanket over my head a little bit. So bad.
Quick technical question. So I say the word group chat here, and then it's like blank. Are you guys able to say anything at all?
The videos.
Oh, you're looking at the Hangouts and not the YouTube chat.
How
YouTube chat?
Yeah, you have to.
You have to bring up the video,
the website, and where her video is, and then that's where the chat is happening.
I just click on the Twitter link.
Oh yeah, the link that she sent us on Twitter. If you just click that, it's just gonna send you to like our thing.
So what do I click?
You go to my channel and you click on the live show. Like you would watch it if you were a viewer.
Okay, so
and then you could like mute that so you don't get confused, but then you can chat with everyone.
Okay, all right, I got that. All right, that makes more sense because I was like, I see nothing. All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. Well, you're next, so you can tell us what you thought, and like I'm actually really curious.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So, I think for me, I really, really enjoyed the magic system, like a lot. Like I thought it was really unique, having the different dynamic with science and magic, because like it just, I thought that it was a very clever rebalance, and things like that. And I like alternate universes. I love that kind of crap. So like I was like that part was easy for me. And then I thought that it was really ambitious, like how the magic system worked and everything like that. And I really liked the Willstone aspect. I didn't connect with the writing as much either, but it was for me, it's definitely, I felt like it was more on me and how I enjoy my writing and stuff like that, because it was like, it was really well paced, and I think it would like adapt really well to a film. Because, like I could see it in my mind. I just like, I like over detail in like action scenes and stuff like that. And like there'd be moments where it was like, oh, Rowan took those 2 guards out, and then we kept going. And in a movie, you would literally see him take the 2 guards out, and you get all the details that I could, you know, have those fight sequences. Whereas when I'm reading it, I don't put the fight sequences in, and so it was just like, he took him out, and I'm like, how do you take him out? You know?
You know, if you're thinking about taking out one person in particular at the end with Rowan, then yes, that really, especially because there was like a political buildup beforehand, like that scene with, okay, I know we're jumping directly to the end. I have strong feelings, but the scene where Lillian is talking to Gideon, I was like, oh yes, this is exactly my shit. Like, I love this political intrigue. And then I was like, that's it? That's all we're getting? Give us more.
So are we talking at all like spoilery on this? Like, how are we going to be doing this in that sense, I guess, is a question I quickly have, because I know some people haven't read it fully. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
We did check in with Cait beforehand.
Go ahead and spoil whatever. I can enjoy things even if they are spoiled. So
Okay, spoil away. Leah, do you want to rant?
Wait, but do we want to like kind of go through like, I don't want to jump to the end if other people have like things they want to talk about in the beginning, or if I'm messing with your structure, Sarah. I don't want to like mess it up. If you have something specific in mind, I can hold in the rest of my feelings.
Well, Jade, tell us what you overall thought.
Oh, like you want like a star rating?
If you were to rate it.
Because right now I don't have it rated on Goodreads, because I did want to have like the conversation first, because a lot of the time I won't rate something right away unless I feel like really solid on it. And this one, like, I was even thinking about it today, and so I was like having trouble in that way, where I was like, what do I want to rate it? And I think I am gonna go with a 3.5. Only because I only do like half stars. Otherwise, I feel like it'd be like a 3.8. But like I don't do that. So it would just confuse me, and like filling in the little star chart on my planner would be out of control.
It would be out of control.
Oh God, how would you even measure 3.8 and like the little spaces in the star?
I don't know. If I ever decide to do it, I'll just send you the diagram. I'll be like, here it is.
Do all the hard work for me, and then I'll just copy it.
Yes, absolutely. I'll make it a PNG too. You can just throw it up on the
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I think I go 3.5. I feel like it's a 3.5 for me. And I think if that one death would have been as much as I needed it to be, I think it would have been a 4, because I really wanted that person to die. And like, I'm happy about it.
Yes. It was very anticlimactic.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I actually mentioned this death in our Twitter chat, so like, Cait should already know about it now that I think about it.
Oh yeah, true.
But if the other people are in the chat, if other people are like in the live show haven't, like comment wise.
But yeah, that death was literally just a sentence and a bit, and I wish it was like just more intense.
Like pages of torture itself.
Well, do you know what I think sorry, were you still speaking? Did I interrupt you? I can't tell. Okay. No? Okay. Basically, I think there were like a few small pieces where we kind of got like, even though it was more omniscient, like it's more in Lily's head and then occasionally in some other people's head, there were like a couple of scenes that were more from Gideon's perspective a little bit. Dang it, I just said his name.
I mean, it's fine because Jamie in this group chat.
I mean, if you're reading the book, who else do you want to die?
Right. It's true.
Like, who else? Like, I hope you die. Really, really.
Anyway,
the one really horrible person.
I think the scene could have been strengthened if it were from his perspective, because he's just been told by Lillian a little bit ago, like, doesn't matter what you want, I'm sending you off. And then right as he's leaving, she's like, by the way, you're gonna die. So like his perspective as he's going out there, like knowing that he's out of, like, not in control, and then kind of a flip of perspective again when he's like actually dead. I think it could have really ramped up the suspense there and made it a bit more satisfying, knowing that knowing that you're going to die, that's a lot of suffering right there. And we didn't get any of that. We got one sentence of him and then he's never mentioned again. I was like, are you serious right now? Oh, I was so upset.
I have something to say about that. Okay. First, okay. I didn't read that part yet. But, I mean, I'm assuming I know who it is. I'm guessing. But I will say that, like, when I'm reading something or, like, when I'm watching, like, a movie or anything like that, when a death is made, like, really quick and, like, not giving any attention, like, it doesn't matter, like, that actually disturbs me more than, like, if there's all this detail in it. Because it's almost like that person wasn't even worth the detail.
Yeah.
And so, like, sometimes that to me can even be, I mean, more, I don't know, more impactful to me sometimes. Just because it's like, oh, they didn't even, like, deserve the time that it would take for this to be. But I'm guessing it's the one bad, anyway.
Like passive aggressive writing, like, he's not even worth it.
Like, I guess.
Insta-kill.
No, I love that though. Sorry. I love that though, because it's like literally Josephine Angelini was just like, I'm really tired of this guy. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
I think she made him a really like dislikable character, and that was like she made us hate him.
Which is, I feel like it's really hard for a lot of YA like series to like I've read a lot where you really dislike a character, but I haven't read a lot where you like really like despise the character, which I think she did really, really well. Yeah. So that I can appreciate, because I mean I've had like horrible feelings towards characters. Like J.K. Rowling makes really horrible characters. Yeah. And like that's kind of the feeling I got when and I'm only reading the series for the first time, but that's also an author that writes really good characters where you just like loathe someone. So yeah, it's very rare for me to just like despise someone as if like they're a human in my life physically, and I just like want them to like stop.
Yeah. I will say that, like, Cait, I think you do have a good point. I think it is sometimes more impactful. I think for me personally, Spinning Silver is a really great example of that. We're all shocked, but Spinning Silver does in that respect. But something about this one, I think, because we spent so much time kind of like I don't know, I wanted him to suffer a bit more. Like, I wanted him to deal with more consequences. It felt too fast and then like nothing. And I was like, no, you need to face this feeling.
We want blood.
No, I want mental suffering, which is maybe worse.
Yeah, I was just looking at the sentence because it is a sentence.
Yes.
Because it's from Lily's perspective, I just realized, and I think that's a big reason why. But
so removed.
Could have been from his perspective, and then because that's the reason why it probably isn't fleshed out, because she's just like mind like soldiering around, and so
yeah.
How
did you feel about the dynamics with the characters with Willstones? I'm just wondering, because like I actually had struggle with it because I love character development so much, but I like how do I explain that? Like I really like to find out the characters as they go, and like I like seeing that character development. I feel a lot of it was almost instantaneous because of their Willstone connection. And I mean, like, what do you do? But like yeah, like what do you guys think of the Willstones like as a dynamic in the book?
Okay, so from what I could tell, when people touched other people's Willstones, it seemed like some like orgasmic shit was going on there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it, so.
You said it on the internet.
Can't take it back.
It's there now.
It's true. He was like,
You're right. There are definitely some scenes in this
and
book.
then he was like shivering and through his head. Like it was like this whole. I think it's funny because in the beginning she was like, "Oh, am I hurting him?" And they were like, "No."
And here comes the smut princess. Here she is.
I legit like my next vlog that comes out, which is like a month late. I literally read like 5 smutty books in a week, so it's gonna be great.
Okay, I actually can't wait for that though.
Yeah.
I'm so warm now from my laughing.
I think the Willstone thing is interesting because, okay, so that's like probably one of my favorite things about the book is the Willstone aspect of it. Because I'm a sucker for like stuff. I don't know. I like things, and I like sentimental things, and I feel like Willstones are interesting in that aspect. But I feel like I don't know. This is really out there, but like I feel like in like fantasy books, there's always like a lot of like codependency with characters, especially like the main character and their like love interest or like the best friend. There's always like a really big like codependency there, and with the Willstones, it takes it like to a whole another like level. Like even their magic is dependent like half like on the other people and having to trust the other people. And I do like that there's a trust aspect to it, and I do love that like there's like a I guess at least for the parts that I saw is I just lost my train of thought. There's like a consent aspect to it. They have to, say, yeah, you can, claim my Willstone. I can't say that. But yeah, so that I thought that was interesting. I did.
Oh no.
I really liked the consent aspect actually too with the magic system because like in magic, at least like what I practice, like it's an important aspect of doing magic, especially when other people are involved, is you're supposed to have consent. So I liked that was so like in place, where it was like you couldn't do magic on another person. You couldn't take away anyone's free will without consent first. Like they made that a bigger deal. Like I did like that quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, when was this published again?
Oh God.
Like 2014? Or
it might have been 14. I remember.
Yeah, it was 14.
Yeah.
So like 5 years ago. I wonder if that was as much in YA around that period of time. Yeah, I agree. I think that's something I did appreciate about the book.
I personally was a huge lover of the magic system. I like the whole alchemical aspect of it. So like one thing, this is kind of random, I just watched she's actually watching us now, Aphrodite Reads just did her reading vlog, and she said that like her thought of the magic system was it was a bit too much sci-fi and like scientifical, and that's something I can definitely understand. And I think that it's something that I personally really liked, especially just coming off of watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like coming into this and kind of the whole, like, it was so scientifically based, and that was something that I haven't really seen before done in a book, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I felt like it just added something very new.
Yeah, I feel like that part of it wasn't, because I feel like in the genre, the magic systems I feel like can get overused a lot, and this magic system in this book was like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Like it was different. It's a different kind of book, which I think is why I appreciate it so much. Is just because it's a lot different than like usuals. Yes,
I absolutely agree. I just typed something stupid. I absolutely agree. I love when writers are not afraid to be whimsical with magic. It doesn't always have to be like gritty and grungy, but like like describing the trees, describing the just things like that. I love when they're not afraid to be like whimsical with it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of, like, in my experience, I've only really read two other books that I might think of as a bit of like science fantasy, which is a subgenre, and I did not know that.
Ooh,
and I feel like
that.
this fits, I feel like this fits into it. But a lot of them are like, they're very kind of gritty and dark, and there are definitely elements in this. Like, it wasn't all sunshine, obviously. But like the glowing trees, I thought that was such a great image. And
Yeah, it was so cool.
I was like, I would like to be there. I want glowing trees. Like, there were some things that I thought were really clever. That I feel like need a bit of calling out.
Okay, as someone who is vegan, this bitch talks too much about veganism.
Oh my god.
You need the fake meat, though.
I like that, and I'm not vegan.
I was like, it was just, I like kept coming up at, and it like, it's not something that annoys me, but it's to the fact that I was just like, people are gonna read this and be like, wow, vegans are so annoying, and that's like a lot of that's such a thing that people think of, and I'm like, that is what she's doing. Very difficult.
I know, because I feel like a big part of Lily's character and Lillian, where she tried to show that they were the same person, but like different people, is like how deeply they care about or are passionate about their beliefs. And so I feel like that's why they kept coming up, because it's like a really important part of, they're technically the same person who have just lived different lives, but they're still like, down to the core, they're still like, they share the same beliefs to an aspect. I mean, not like killing people, but yeah.
I think it's like the whole nature versus nurture thing playing out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I actually found some of there was one part at the end with Lily where she was kind of like reflecting on her own actions and like trying to explain why she would stay even though she could die. And it was basically like, and this is something that I wish was explored more, because I think it's a really interesting idea. It's not just conviction, but what do you do with power, and what do you do now that you have an ability to affect change? I thought it was really interesting that she was like, in the other world, I was weak and like sick all the time. I mean, that's how she phrased it. And I couldn't really do anything but like donate money and buy shirts with slogans on it. But like, here I can actually do something. I can do something. And I was like, damn, I feel that. And that I think is such a powerful theme, and it was a very powerful way to show that she has conviction. And I wish it had been explored a little bit deeper. I feel like at some points, like kind of what Madison's getting at with some of the repetition, it felt like that was how she was showing the conviction, but I think it was a lot more powerful when she chose to stay. It's like that show versus tell situation.
Yeah, and I think actually, now that you say that, that is a big thing. So it's the whole idea of, how at one stage, she learned to purify the water and then make that. What? Wait, is it making noises again?
No.
I wasn't sure. It's gonna be so bad. And then how they made the like little pills, but out of like the cloth around.
Yeah. Oh, that seems
so. I felt like that was very interesting, that whole idea, that scene. But just the ability to make these things that could just eradicate all these like epidemics and these sicknesses was just so interesting, and it's something that I hadn't seen before either. So like you like, and when they also mentioned that like this is like one magic that is easy to do, but it takes a lot out of a person, so a lot of people just don't do it because they're like, what's the point, like, of me wasting all this energy on something like this? And she's like, well, why wouldn't you? If you have the power to do this, why not help people if you can help them?
Yeah.
And I feel like how she grew up where no one could help her, I feel like that kind of strengthened her conviction to do the small kitchen magic, because she could help people that were like her back where she was from. I think that was like a really cool dynamic that was kind of thrown in there, that like you actually had to like think about. It wasn't just like told to you, but it makes a lot of sense.
I still stand by my theory that breakfast is Rowan.
Yeah.
Same.
Like,
You have to read book 2. I'm not going to tell you anything.
Who is the woman in her world?
I will literally read book 2 to find out who breakfast
Same.
is.
But also, like, here's my question: why wouldn't she recognize Rowan as breakfast?
Because she wasn't paying attention to him. She was only paying attention to Tristan.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a good. That's a good thing.
And then at the party, it was in low light.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, I
Why-
guess like.
Can I?
Yeah.
I just want to spoil everything, and I
Stereotype,
can't.
I just love it so much, even though I'm a little bit skeptical.
I gotta be
I
honest.
want it to be true though, in my heart of hearts.
I really like. I think breakfast. Yeah, I don't know why I like stayed fixated on breakfast through the entire book. Like the entire time, I was like, just
Breakfast is in book 2 and
nobody
3.
names somebody breakfast and leaves them.
Every time the word breakfast was mentioned and the fact that he like cooks breakfast and all these things about breakfast, I was just like, clues. There's gotta be something.
Kate's like circling all of them. She's like,
Yes.
let me just
I have like my chart. Breakfast.
I love how deeply you guys were dissecting chapters 1 and 2.
That's
Where
why
we
I'm
don't-
not finished because I spent so much time there.
we don't go back to that world until book 2, and you guys are just like, where's the people from her world?
Where's breakfast?
Good morning,
Every
and I'm
time
hungry.
breakfast was mentioned, Kate had to update her chart, just sat there for hours staring at it like, how does it all connect?
Oh boy.
And Jade just really wants breakfast.
Honestly, especially because I want to see. I think the biggest thing I want to know is like whether or not like they have the magic in that world, but coming back to this, they can't have the magic anymore. The magic
Or
transfer.
can they?
I don't know if that's
Never mind.
true.
If you have your Willstone, because that's what I'm thinking. I like she has her Willstones when she's going back to her world, and he has his. I feel like the Willstone itself is magic, and if they are in the same universe where that magic could have existed, if the witches had died differently, then it must still be able to manifest and exist in the world. It just never came to be. So bringing it in, I feel like should be allowed. I guess like through the rules.
I
don't know.
think
They didn't eradicate magic when they hung the witches in Lily's world. They eradicated the witches.
I have a conspiracy that Samantha, Lily's mom, is actually Samantha from the other world.
So
It's
many
got chills.
conspiracies.
Okay, where is the X-Files theme song? I feel like we need to play it after every conspiracy theory because honestly, as you said that, it played in my head.
Okay, then what happened to Lily's Samantha?
She's the one who offed herself.
Oh,
God.
that must be rough for Lily.
Well,
God.
that's one thing I really like about, like, I remember when I was reading these books, the series, the first time around, like at the end of the books, there's always like a cliffhanger, and then you have like 18 different theories in your head of like what could be, and I think that's what makes, at least for me, what made the rest of the series like so fun to read was just because, like, was I right about anything? Like, I don't know, it's like really fun to like find out.
It's my life. I love it.
Yeah.
And I do, as much as I hate cliffhangers, I do love a good cliffhanger. Like,
True. Yeah. If
like,
it's done well. It's done
I'm
well.
about to read The Wicked King sometime this month, and apparently that's gonna like internally kill me. So we'll see.
Since we were like talking about power and such, I feel what am I saying? I feel the need to bring up the fact that like there's, of course there's the magic and there's the science aspect of power, but then there's also like that political power and also like that brute force aspect of like the strong people, like the warriors and stuff like that. But I like that there's also that political power because like Gideon didn't have any like he had some power, but it was like they harped on the fact that it's not very much a lot throughout the book.
Yeah.
But he had pull though because of his father and where he'd kind of gotten himself. So I think that's interesting. And the same thing goes for like Juliet. She didn't really have very much power, but she was in a position where she could still do something with the power that she did have from where she is. That was country. But yeah, from like where she is there. Which is why I wanted to shake her. So.
She could have done so much if she just like wasn't so afraid of Leah. But I understand at the same time because she didn't want to leave her sister behind, and she was kind of the only person who was still standing by her sister.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, she had this other Lily, and she still felt. I loved how she still felt protective over both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that.
one thing about like talking about Lillian quickly, I wish we got so much more from her. Like I wanted so much more from Lillian.
Oh, it's coming. Can I say that? Is
But
that like
did
a
you see
spoiler?
the deleted scenes at the end? Sorry.
Oh yeah, the deleted scenes I feel like play a huge role in book 2.
Oh,
If you
well,
read them,
oops.
it kind of gives you a feel for
Yeah.
book 2, if that makes sense.
I just want to say that when I started it, I immediately was like, "Oh, Lillian, stop! Like Lillian's going to be redeemed a little bit." Like from, I think it.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like hanging people en masse is like objectively bad.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Bad.
But I think in the beginning she was like very much presented as like one-dimensionally evil.
Mm.
And I actually totally see why Josephine didn't include these scenes in the book. I think it would have removed some of the suspense and how are these two going to face off if we know the whole time what Lillian's thinking. So I get why she did it, but yeah, I think that's something that definitely looking forward to more in the future. And I also kind of like, this is kind of related. I kept like, this is like a very #me thing to do. It's like very Ravenclaw. I was like, how did Lillian become this way? What is her history? Like, what happened? Like, what future did she see? Also, right? And like, also, like, hold up, the Outlanders are Native Americans, and they speak like a combination of the different, like, there's like CO and Iroquois and everything else. And I was like, okay, so like, how are they still the Outlanders here? And like, what were the Pilgrims, like, Virgin in
What
this
were
world?
they?
What was the history here? How did the witches like end up still surviving? I had so many. I was like, how did just like I would read like just the Wikipedia of like how the world developed in the way like I want the politics of how it developed in this world. I have so many questions.
Leah just went full Ravenclaw. Like about 50% Ravenclaw most of the time. You just went full Ravenclaw. Like I'm not even sure if you were breathing. You were just intaking knowledge and then taking it back out.
It's funny because when I talk to Leah over DMs and she gets really passionate about it, I feel like I've talked to her enough that like I hear her in my mind when I'm reading it. So like
No.
yeah.
I tend to abuse capitals in text, but I feel like it's actually how I talk, so it's fair.
I love it. But like but like what I like, the story keeps growing, and like I don't know what what other series I could compare it to. I mean, I guess I could kind of sort of compare it to Throne of Glass, to where like things keep like building up, and then like you get an ending, even though I just started book 4, so like I don't actually know everything that's happened, so don't tell me.
Anyway,
I've only read the first one.
So from what I've heard is that like things just keep like adding up in every book, and like you just keep learning new stuff, and then things just start making sense like throughout the series, and like that's in a sense that's what this series like kind of does. So like the questions you have in book 1, a lot of those are answered in book 2, and then like so on and so forth all the way through the 3rd book. Like questions are answered, but like you have to wait for them. Like they're strategically placed.
Right.
I guess.
Aphrodite Reed says that we never got why she's sick, and I wasn't 1,000% clear, so I'm just gonna ask for some clarification. Is she sick in her world because she had so much magic in her, but not a Willstone? Because she didn't.
She couldn't get the magic out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
she like runs hot and stuff.
in that world.
Yeah.
And, like it's the exact same world. I feel like it's just everything's very diminished, and like even though like regular people who would like even though regular women who would have been witches are fine, I think because her powers are so immense that even in her world where magic is so like underground, she still gets affected by it, and that's why she's just so unlucky.
So
Yeah, because
that
when she traveled worlds or universes, like she was still sick until the boys showed her how to transmute her energy into like a healthy way. So like even when she was sleeping or walking, like Rowan would touch like her wrist or her ankle and transmute it for her.
Mm-hmm.
So, like she, without Rowan, she still would have been sick because like she didn't know what to do with all the energy.
Mm-hmm. I thought the pickle scene was kind of funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
I went out
yeah.
and bought pickles
So-
just so you guys know.
Oh my god.
Every
It
time
made
I
me
read
want
that
pickles.
chapter, I go out and buy pickles.
You know what's something I really did like? I did like the banter between the two main characters.
Rowan and Lily.
Thank
Sounds
you.
like Romeo and Juliet, but a little bit different.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, between Rowan and Lily. I liked like their banter between worlds, you know, like them trying to like explain each other's stuff, but sometimes they would not bother. They'd be like, never mind. Like, don't
Right.
even like I liked that. Like I thought they had some really cute, like fun banter. I didn't feel like a lot of chemistry between them in the way I wanted to, but I got some like serious like bro chemistry, which is fun too. I love the bro chemistry.
I love bro chemistry.
So yeah.
I felt like the banter, I think, was actually really entertaining for me. Just because, yeah, like they'd be like, "Oh, what's this really complicated thing like nuclear energy?" Like,
Oh, boy.
don't even.
We like nuclear energy.
Where do you start?
I think at that point Cait was ahead of me, and so when I got to that scene, I just thought about Cait saying, "I felt that," because I felt it too. I don't know what I would do if anyone tried to ask me to explain nuclear energy. Like, I don't know.
I was bad in science class because I had terrible teachers. So when she's like pulling out all this actual science knowledge, I'm like, I knew enough to pass a test. I don't. How does she make this applicable? Like,
Mm-mm.
I don't.
Mm-mm.
That's like when you have like a zombie movie and a veterinarian is able to do surgery on somebody. It's like, take this tiny bit of knowledge and just blow it up into this huge thing.
Like, oh, okay, cool.
Like, yeah, okay.
Oh god. What was that?
Go for
No,
it.
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna. Okay, so she was really, really sick in her world because she had so much magic and all of that we figured out. Does that mean everyone in her world, like people that have like
Allergies?
like allergies?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm a magical human being only in spring, guys.
Like, yeah, I only have magic in spring. I'm only magical when I'm around cats.
What if it's also like the type of magic that they have, you know?
Yeah,
Like, other people have different things that are also.
yeah.
Oh god, it'd be interesting if your allergy was actually your magical affinity.
Alcohol!
Oh my god.
Hey,
Oh no.
And this
I can
necklace.
do magic when I'm drunk.
Yes.
that would be a magical series,
He
guys.
only had an accent when he was drunk.
I don't have any allergies. What does that mean for me? That's so sad.
You're
Oh no.
I don't have allergies either.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can still be magical. We'll be a different kind of magical.
We'll just do au natural magic.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay, we didn't mention this before we were talking about Gideon, but I actually thought that almost Carrick was worse.
Mm.
Okay.
I feel like his character, like, we didn't really get as much of his character, but when he was there, the dude went freaking power hungry and just nuts. Like he looked like his brain just went like crazy with power.
Yeah.
He
And
snapped.
he was an awful human being too.
Yeah, I think we had less time to hate him, but I definitely was able to hate him just as much in a shorter amount of time, which is really impressive.
you get more time to hate him. Don't worry.
Ooh.
I mean, right now he's like locked away in a dungeon, but you know.
I also, because Willstones are so like, as Madison put it, climax.
Orgasmic, or was there orgasmic energy?
Orgasmic, yeah. Because those scenes are so like orgasmic, and I wasn't sure what that scene was when he has Lily's Willstone. I wasn't sure how to interpret that scene. And like Rowan's response when he was like, "Did he like touch your Willstone?" And she was like, "Yes," and it was like terrible, and I was like, okay, like this is like I couldn't tell like how heavy that moment was supposed to be, like because the Willstone thing was.
If it was like a violation of her own, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't like, was this like? It kind of felt really violating, and like it felt. And Cait, I'm so sorry if you didn't get that far. I can't remember.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I actually am there currently. Like I was
gonna say, I feel like that's where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It just seemed really intense, and it seemed like really, invasive. So I like, it seemed like one of those types of scenes where I was like, okay, I should maybe be giving this a little bit more weight, but because they're Willstones, I wasn't sure.
Do we also? I assume that we'll also get more of Carrick's history, because he was like.
Yeah, because you get a little bit of it
when he was younger, and like he was really mad at Rowan for not intervening, and it seemed like he didn't really belong anywhere. I think so. Jamie said Carrick was a traitor, right? And I wonder, like, if in the context from Carrick's perspective, like betraying who? No one was looking out for him.
That's true.
Which again doesn't excuse like what he did. I feel like it was. I think it's more of one of almost the situations where you're kind of perpetuating a cycle of abuse, or like doing what you need to. Yeah,
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, because he's an Outlander, and then technically he could be a mechanic like Rowan, but like no one's claimed him, so now he just works under Carrick because they're a match made in
Gideon.
hell.
yeah, which is Gideon.
Yes, you do get historian past, which I think
that's gonna be sad
a whole lot. But yeah,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no, I like he doesn't really have somebody that he's like really aligned, at least not like emotionally like supporting, that in that respect, because if someone does know that something's going on and doesn't do anything about it, even when they can do something about it, you're definitely going to have like a resentment towards them no matter what, like
especially if it's like a half relative.
Yeah.
Half relatives, can they mind speak?
Yes. Oh.
What was that?
Yeah.
If they're half relatives, can they still mind speak?
That's kind of at the end. Rowan kind of talked about it, like Carrick doesn't
power
block my mind yet. He doesn't know, like I.
Oh yeah, because he said that he doesn't know that I can like tell where he is.
Yeah, so every time he went above ground, he saw snippets, and so that's why it took him so long to find him. But at the same time, that's how he found him.
So that's why he was like, Rowan has a way to find him.
Yeah,
yeah, that's actually what was saying that to Lily. Okay, I get it. Okay, a little slow today, but I get it. Wow. Also, no.
Yeah, okay. I think in the chat they're saying that like first that he went to like to work for the people who were like oppressing the Outlanders, and also Rowan didn't really know about him. And I think those are both valid points. Oh, I thought his reasoning for being evil was cheap.
I feel like you can definitely go one of two ways if you've been in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely go either way. You can either decide, oh, I'm gonna not make sure that no one else is going through anything like that, or you can, like the victim mentality, like Jamie just said.
Yeah,
like,
I was just
you can definitely
no one was looking out for me, so forget all these people.
Yeah, because the Carrick kind of talks about it with Lily about why didn't he save me, and Lily was like,
what do you mean?
He was a child.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like one of those things where if you've only met someone once and you were 4, like, I mean, I don't know, but like I can see it both ways. Like later on, like why didn't he find me? Like,
right.
Like I
can see why he would like I don't approve of it, but I can see why a person would direct their bitterness in that way. Although I have to say, his brutality did surprise me. I wasn't expecting him to be as brutal as he was.
He's had a harsh life, guys.
Yeah. I understand like his
Not
bitterness.
saying that it was okay.
Right,
Yeah.
of course.
But
You're adding context.
you know,
No, that's 100% true.
Jamie, no one needs to save you, Kara. Grow up.
Save yourself, God.
She's had it.
Yes. She's done. So, like when he was talking about, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and then he's like, "Well, that's a bunch of." Was that him that said that? Or was that?
Someone said it.
Remember.
I'm
Oh
just-
my god!
He's
That
like, what
reminds
doesn't-
me. What was up with the shaman who was then just rags and wasn't there? That was a lot.
I think it was like a spirit kind of thing.
Right?
He wasn't
Yeah,
there?
because Lily was like, "Hey," like, because she was like, "Oh yeah, I left him to die." And she's like, "You killed his body, but you didn't kill his soul, or something like that."
Right.
And I was like, "That is deep. Like,
Jeez.
that's real deep."
And like,
Mind blown.
I liked the shaman a lot.
So I loved that like little relationship, if you can call it, because he
I
was
know.
only
It
there in spirit, but like,
me vibes of A Court of Thorn and Roses when Feyre is stuck underground and there's like just this one person who's like helping her get through it, kind of a thing.
He reminded me of from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Was it King Boomy?
oh my gosh, yes,
he did have very boomy vibes.
Yeah,
he really did. Oh my
I know.
god.
This is it showing? Oh, it went away. Oh no, it went away. I had it and it went away. But no, he reminded me of King Boomy. So he seemed kind of like a old goofy man, you know. He was talking about.
And that was like, it was also a little bit disconcerting because he was hit the subject matter somebody was talking about, like, you know, like these ash worlds is very serious. And he was like, anyway. Like, I was like, oh my God. This is wow. All right.
There we go. This guy.
Yes.
Picturing
Oh
that
my
the whole
God.
time.
Now I'm gonna picture him as Boomy.
Just like I should make that my screensaver.
Oh.
But yeah, no, King Boomy.
You're fine.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so also I just want to talk about Juliet for a minute
Mm-hmm.
because
Ready?
I wanted to smack her. I really wanted to smack her. She reminds me of people that grow up with parents that believe one thing and they just kind of go with it because they don't, you know, when you're close to someone, you kind of just go with whatever they believe a lot of times when you're growing up. But then like they, you know, then she grows up and like kind of develops her own opinion about a thing. I feel like that's how it was with her and like Lillian. So I don't know. But that's kind of how I felt about that. Like I felt like she was like, yeah, you know, kind of innocently like being naive about it.
Than I would think.
What was that?
Yeah.
Someone in that world, I did not expect her to have as much naivety as she did have. I expected her to have more.
Like, I feel like her eyes didn't open until
Really,
Lillian said she would save the children and then decided she wasn't going to save the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lillian has done so many horrible things before not saving the children. So, like,
Yeah, like how long has this all been
That's
going
too
on?
far.
Because like, yeah, she's been witnessing everything Lillian's done, like up until this point, including like murdering her boyfriend's dad. So like, I felt like Juliet, while very, very kind and like definitely compassionate towards like her siblings, I felt she looked the other way a little too long for me.
Yeah.
I think that she definitely knew what was going on, and she was just like taking Lillian's word for it that there was good reason behind it. But it's like, you know, even if you have good reason, like if people are dying, you should like probably double check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they did talk a lot about the power difference between the two sisters. And I feel like that probably played a big role in, like, I don't know, like, why Juliet was just so, she just followed. And I feel like growing up with someone who's like the, I don't know, like the strongest person in your world as your sister, like in that aspect, like I don't know what I would do. Like I feel like I know I'm a good enough person to like stand up for innocence, but like at the same time, like would I if she would like kill me? Like I don't know.
Well, I also wonder if she was like, if there's a little bit of a gaslighting situation going on there. Like she didn't. I think Juliet's as a character, her difference between like real world Juliet or our world Juliet and Lillian's world Juliet was pretty big. There's a bit of a flip dynamic there, but I really felt like Juliet didn't really trust herself at all. You know, she perhaps like she was probably told a lot that like, you know, your sister's the best and you don't have a lot of power and so you should just serve her and like do whatever, and probably lived a very sheltered life. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always like, I agree. Like, what, I don't even know if it's that it would be because I'd be worried that my sister would kill me. Like, would I have faith enough? Do I have faith enough in myself in that situation where everything around me in the world is saying that your sister is the most powerful person and is right, and also you're not really worth a lot? Would I have the confidence to look past that, especially if I was simultaneously being told that these other people were actually like, we're the ones who were murdering and we were preventing murder? Like, what would I think? And I think there's actually a lot of character development for Juliet towards the end, and I think that'll probably continue in book 2. But I agree, for most of the book, she's very naive.
Because like now she's with the Outlanders, and like,
which is so cool. I feel like she's gonna become really badass now that she's with them, because she's kind of like coming into her own, and I feel like she has a lot of potential now that she's opened her eyes up. This is like really off topic. I was just going through like all the messages and stuff, including Cait writing the word orgasmic. But it made me wonder, because Rowan's scene, like when Rowan and Lily like she touched his stone and saw like his memories. The interesting thing of like her seeing the scene between Rowan and Lillian like having makes me wonder if, because they're a mechanic and like thing, like I wonder if there's like, this is like really weird, but like if there's like, because if touching the Willstones is like orgasmic, then like would having sex create more power?
I was wondering that also. I didn't want to verbalize it until someone else did, because I'm awkward. But
okay, guys, discuss.
Also, sex with mind speak.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
When you can feel what the other person is feeling.
Exactly. There was something else I was comparing that to in my head. Now I can't remember what it was.
Okay. Also, I just want to say, Sarah, you didn't tell me that this had steamy scenes either. Speaking of people not telling other people about steamy scenes.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe because I've read it so many times. Like this was my fourth read of this series, but like I was reading it and I was like, oh, I totally forgot all this happened. Like there was a scene where he was like, I was making her feel what I was feeling, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, because there was also this phrase where he's drawing a bath for her, and she's like, oh, and I could smell him, and she's like, I felt so intimate, like bathing in his male scent. And specifically, male scent is a very smutty phrase. Okay,
just male scent reminds me of like fae novels, and they're like, she's like, they're scented, like things like that.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
Well, I'm glad that I have
what was it, steamy teas?
I'm glad I have some, you know, smut steamy lover readers here to enjoy the steamy scenes. Here you are. You're welcome.
Thing that I want to point out is with the beginning being like in Lily's world and her and Tristan, and then seeing her come to this new world and her relationship with this other Tristan was very interesting. And I think like one thing that I'm actually, now that I think about, I'm very intrigued about is seeing like Lily's been gone for 3 freaking months, dude. Like, and then she comes back, and now I'm gonna be like, well, what is it gonna be like with her and Tristan? Because it's so weird because this Tristan and that Tristan was similar but different.
Kind of like her and Lily, and like they're
Yes.
the same people, but they're different because they grew up completely differently.
Exactly. That's one thing I liked about the fact that there was Tristan there, because then it showed that they don't have to be the same.
Yeah, I like seeing that different.
Mhm.
But they never fully trust Lily.
Wait, what?
You
I know.
possessed us again.
Sorry, you were possessed by a demon. Can you repeat?
You know what? Work some kind of magic, please. Make me something. I can't remember what I was going to say.
Anyways.
Also the I think going back to the medicine scene, that was another one that was like, but then like putting it into the frame of reference, like from Lily's perspective and our perspective, I was like, damn, okay. But he was like, people are naked all the time over here. Get over it. I was like, oh, well.
But then, like, when she like
But he was, like,
kissed him, and then
touching.
like, but Tristan was touching her back, but she was kissing Rowan. That was like,
Oh my god, when she suddenly just made out with Rowan in between that scene.
yeah, I thought it was about to get like,
Right? There were certain parts of it I was like, am I really, this is my A right now? Like, what, is this going to develop into something more? It
more
was
orgasm
squeezing
magic.
liquid on her with a paintbrush.
What you know what I thought was interesting in that
Yes.
scene is when Rowan stopped kissing Lily, like when he like pushed her back, like, and the others gave him like a dirty look for like pushing him back, like for him pushing her back, like for they were like, oh, why did you, like, she's your witch, like why would you not, like she's like, that was interesting. That's another reason why the whole idea of like if they were to have sex, like what does that do with the whole power thing?
Oh my god. What is it? Yeah. Especially, okay, I'm really getting into the discourse here, but especially if like Lily's a new witch, and she's like got all of these minds in her head now through the Willstones. And also she's sexually inexperienced. What if she accidentally broadcasts some shit to the other Willstones? That would be highly embarrassing. No, thank you. Like, if you're kissing a boy, I don't want 1,000 people to know that I'm kissing someone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they do explain that you have to initiate mind speak.
But if you're like, if
but
you're
she
just
actually
really
did
into
Juliet, right? Like,
like you're initiating everything, so it's just like
You just turn on the on switch for all of it.
yeah.
And you're like, oops, I didn't mean to get that one, but oh well, here we are, everyone.
Okay.
I'm going to grab my computer charger. People were confused because I kept leaving. My cats were fighting. I'm going to grab my computer charger, so I will be just. But yeah, I'm listening.
I
Fighting
also
cats.
like.
Story of my life.
I also wanted to say I thought it was interesting that I didn't know this until I said it, but like that Juliet joined the Outlanders because she was like complicit in everybody calling them savages.
Yeah.
Which is also a dirty word here.
Yeah.
Right. So that was interesting to me that she was like complicit in that. And I wondered if there was something similar going to happen because she really didn't hold back on having the same prejudices against them, like with the moldy bread and with, you know, that kind of stuff. So I thought that was interesting. And I wondered if it was going to be pointing her towards that sort of
Yeah,
outcome.
I feel like with Juliet, it shows you how much pull her sister has over her. And her mind, even when like they don't mind speak, like she just kind of takes what her sister says and believes at like face value, and like only at the end of the book does she start thinking for herself. And I think that character development is like really amazing in and of itself.
Yeah.
I still wish that we got to see more of Lillian. Like not Lillian just like in general, but like her like in her like prime. Like I want to know more of like her in her prime, like not as this like sickly person. And also, why is she so sick? Like what the hell is going on that's like made her so like
was that not explained?
This bitch see.
You don't
that
get
ever
why
explained?
Lillian. You get like a very short snippet of what's wrong with Lillian, But it doesn't get explained until book 2 exactly
Dang
what
it.
is wrong with Lillian.
Dang.
They kind of sort of explain it towards the end,
I'm
but
gonna have to finish this thing tonight, y'all. Just
Like
saying.
at like 2 a.m. we're getting like DMs from Cait.
I don't know what's happening. Yeah. I also, okay, so I know earlier we were talking about how the detail, like, there was some detail that we kind of wanted, you know, in like magic and action scenes and things like that. But I found the same, like, I had the same issue, but like I'd be reading and like I would turn the page and I would think that I had turned an extra page because they'd be in a completely different like setting. And I was like, did I zone out? And I just didn't realize it because that happens to me a lot. And it had like changed in one sentence on like the previous page. And so I thought like transition, like moving locations. Some of the times that it did that, there wasn't like a gap. It was just in the same paragraph and it like moved a location. I would get confused and think that I just like missed something, but it was really just like there was a sentence. So I did miss something because I always like, yeah. So it's, you know, that was one thing that I did have a difficult time with occasionally in the book. So far.
Oh my God, the woven as like gigantic mutant bugs.
Yeah, that sounds creepy.
That's so interesting that they called the woven, but they're like just mutant bugs. Like,
yeah.
And that you think, if you think about like prehistoric times, like biology and all that ish, like way back when, like bugs were massive and like all this kind of stuff.
the woven like really creeped me out. Especially when she's like, I saw one with like human hands, and I was like, ooh, bug with human hands? Like, I'm not okay with that.
That also means that they experimented with people.
Yeah, that's why I thought they were called woven, is because they were things.
Yeah, because it's like a chimera almost, like.
No, but like they kind of explain that they took a bunch of animals and like meshed them together to make like an animal that, because they were Lily's world is more industry, and then they like made animals or woven to kind of do the work for them, and then like things went wrong.
Yeah.
Things went.
There were several occasions like where I wasn't picturing things how they were actually described.
Yeah.
Like Gideon, I wasn't picturing him at all like blonde and young. I pictured him as the guy like in Princess Diaries 2 that was trying to like steal the crown. Like the old guy, like the entire time. And like the woven in my head. The woven in my head were just like giant capybaras.
Oh my God, what?
Like, giant ones, giant vicious capybaras.
I feel like this would be in that alternate universe where the hero is drunk all the time. Like that's what this story is.
It's Cait's universe.
Are you talking about this guy?
Yes, that's Gideon. That was Gideon in my head.
Oh my God.
And then when they'd be like, Gideon's bad, I'm like, well, he must be ancient. But no, I'm just wrong. It's fine. I would just forget like what they actually are supposed to look like, and I'd be picturing these. I don't know.
I'm so sad. Capybaras are so cute, though.
I know, they're like the mom animal of nature, you know.
Imagining a vicious capybara is weird.
Eating someone, like.
I don't know.
When you were saying bugs and shit, I was thinking like all of a sudden like human centipede shit. Like,
Ooh.
Yes.
No.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight, guys. So
You did this, Sarah.
I did do this, didn't I?
Yes.
I can only blame myself.
You knew what you were getting into when you said this to us. Oh no.
I think also, kind of going back to the Willstones, and it was something that I think it was Aphrodite who mentioned it earlier, where like basically towards the end where Lily just connects with like a bunch all at once. I think there were some aspects of the Willstones that felt a little bit overpowered to me. And maybe it's because I'm just like, no, I want everyone to struggle like me. This is like, and so there was like, and now I have instantaneous photographic memory, and now I'm going to take 1,000 stones and like into my mind, and I have it all memorized. And I was like, this is a lot of power. I mean, I do think it says something that they're so hard to like live without after that.
Yeah.
So perhaps is that consequence proportional? I don't know, but I think I would have appreciated it if there was a bit, if the learning curve, like the speed at which Lily went up the learning curve was less fast. But I understand why, because there was like a lot of stuff that she had to stuff in at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, the end was a little bit quick, and I definitely think her connecting with all these people, and I was just reading the comments, but the entire time they're like, oh, being claimed by a witch is so serious, and then it's suddenly just like
like all these memories at once. There's a lot. And like that she was able to do the pyre without like
she just
too much. Yeah, it was a lot.
He definitely needed yeah. At the end, because I loved the end, it was still very rushed.
At the same time, I think
the start of book 2 is just like I want to say so, but I can't.
I feel like this kind of goes back to like it working well in like a TV episodic or film aspect, because as I was critiquing this in terms of like how fast she learned, I also wondered, like, I think it's very hard to write training scenes, especially repeated ones, in a way that keeps my attention. Like I start to get bored. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Okay, they're training. But at the same time, like, how do you show the struggle of learning something in a new world, without those training scenes or a time jump? Like, how do you write that in a satisfying way? I have no idea. So I kind of feel like I can't get on Josephine Angelini's case too hard about that, because I'm like, what does a good one look like?
Okay, I get that, but at the same time, in my opinion, I'm like, this sounds so bad, but like, as much I understand where you're coming from, because I do think, like, I loved I really did enjoy the way that she was showing her learning, but it felt like, I agree with you, it was in a sense there was some things that were missing, and I don't like to say this, I'm not going to give anything away, Jade, but the way that the third book of Throne of Glass is, like, then there's a whole like teaching thing spanning the entire novel, and I felt like that was so well done that seeing it in this, it felt like it was not as much as I like wanted it to be, and that's why I think I felt like this was just so fast paced and just a bit superpowered almost.
Mary Sue
seemed very overpowered, and I know the whole fact was the fact that she was supposed to be like overpowered compared to everyone else, but it seemed like such an instantaneous overpowering. And I feel like if she has this much power, I would have at least liked to have seen her like not be able to control it instead. If she did have this instantaneous power, it should have been uncontrollable. Like, it seemed like she was able to control it either easily or like she struggled with controlling. Like, it was, I don't know, there was just something missing.
I liked that. It seemed like people did better with magic if they had an understanding of what they were doing. And I feel like when I was trying to explain to myself why she was learning too quick, I like to try and figure out, like, hey, maybe there's a reason why she can learn too quick, and try to rationalize it. And I felt like that was how I was trying to rationalize that, and that the struggle with hers was shown with her struggling to control like the temptation to like take somebody over. Like, that was her struggle.
That was really cool.
At least that's how like I like sort of rationalized it, and that the ease came from her actual knowledge of, biology, because she's a genius that knows all biology things ever. But like, she had, she was focused on biology. She liked it a lot. So I feel like that did help a little bit with the learning curve. I feel like they don't in that world acknowledge as much, since they aren't allowed to with science, even though that's what they're doing. And since she acknowledges it might be quicker for her than those that don't. Maybe.
I really liked seeing the side of her that struggled with like wanting to like take over. Like, I liked how this power, and like where like she would reach out for like the stone, like it was like this innate, like the primalness of it. I like seeing that primal instinct of like wanting to just grab onto it and like smash it, and just I like that. I was like, dark undertaking going on there.
I love that.
I think part of me wonders though, like, because even with that struggle, it seemed like by the end she, like, it was mentioned like a couple of times, and I think it probably helped that she understood what it was like a little bit either not have her willstones or not have that power. But, you know, like, where does she develop from here in terms of her magical capabilities and in terms of her struggle with them? Like, I think that's really the arc of her magic felt so rushed. And I just, I guess I just wanted more there. Although I do appreciate what Cait is saying about her being a biology whiz. And I think if that was set up a bit more in the beginning, as like a major passion of hers, delving into that more, then I think it could have been that could have been strengthened. Although I definitely see where you're coming from there, and I think you have a point.
Yeah, I think it's true because there really is only that one line in the beginning where she says, "Me and Tristan really liked." By the way, right. Tristan, that dude at the beginning we didn't like, but
him, right?
Honestly.
But yeah, she just has the one line of, "We really liked science." Like,
he wants to be a doctor, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I love it.
Speaking of characters that were barely mentioned, was his name Elias?
Elias. Yeah, that hurt me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes,
a little bit.
I forgot about that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I didn't care for that, actually.
No, me either. I really didn't.
I felt like it was.
I wish I cared for it more.
Well, I feel like it was thrown in as a relationship.
Yeah.
And then to kill off a character, so like, I didn't like that they established Caleb's character as being gay and then killed off his partner immediately. I don't know what I am to put that into better words, but I felt that it was ill done.
Yes,
but
I agree.
Remember that it's from 2014.
Yeah.
I always have a hard time excusing that kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I hate it a lot when it comes up, and it was definitely I did realize.
Yeah, that since I just read that was like on the tip of my brain a little bit with that part, and they kind of also hinted a little bit at him. You know how they talked about there were some male witches, but they weren't. Not all of them knew that they were male witches, and they're very like. I was trying to figure out if they were equating that to something, and it made me also wonder if Caleb was also a male witch. Sometimes like that, I was thinking about that a little bit, and that it was just like kind of secret. But I don't know. I really wanted more from that.
And then thinking of how in the beginning, because this is like just coming into my brain now, when we just talked about like she said in the beginning, like Tristan and I like to do science, and then now that I think about it, like, what if Tristan like technically is more powerful than like we think he is?
Ooh.
But like I don't really want him to be.
X-Files sound plays again.
But Madison has all the conspiracies just wrapped up in her head right now.
I had the breakfast conspiracy.
You're living on that.
What if
all I have?
What if Samantha is breakfast?
Stop.
I don't know the sense as to why her mum is so crazy, and then suddenly, like, I don't know. I feel like because she's clearly like, because they even mentioned that like Lily and Samantha had the potential to be like a world walker, and then seeing like Samantha in Lily's world like having these like back and forth visions and stuff, it makes sense that they're both world walkers.
Yeah,
and so I don't know. I feel like there's definitely something there.
There must something
like,
there.
Also, think she sees even more than just Lillian. Like she must know of another Lillian, just from the way that she talks. Because I feel like when her mum was talking about another one of the Lilies, it didn't sound like it would have been Lillian. I feel like it sounded like an even another one. Like,
yeah, it did.
Yeah, I think because like I guess part of her curse is that she sees all of the universes, but also again, who cursed her? Question I want to know. Like it's not the main point of the story. Will that ever be answered? I
thought she was just born that way. Like they're like how we have like there's people who are born like with clairvoyance and stuff like that. Like I thought maybe that was just like something she was born with is like kind of a clairvoyance, and that's how it translated in that world, in that universe.
Yeah.
But didn't it say that she was cursed? I thought I read that.
I thought they interpreted it as a curse.
What?
I know they referred to it as that at one point, but I
Oh,
didn't know if that was just
a curse just because it's like the
Yeah, I
shaman-
thought they were saying like
okay,
she's
she like didn't know how to manage it, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's fair.
maybe
Like-
she's born with it.
maybe
No.
Maybe it's me.
Okay, so we've been talking about the book for a good long while now.
Yes.
But I was thinking we could
prizes.
say any last thoughts and then give people prizes.
Okay.
So any thoughts? Any last thoughts?
I can't wait to read the rest of it.
Katie is like, what is everyone talking about?
I, for
What
one,
happens?
cannot wait to see what happens next.
I'm curious to see like how it would be like in the what's gonna work in her own world.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. With that.
Last thoughts. I don't know if I have last thoughts. I feel like I was able to get everything out that I wanted to yell about.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
and talk about. So like I feel like good. I feel solid.
You feel solid. Does everyone else feel solid?
I don't feel like a spirit walker.
Yeah, I feel like one thing that I do not feel equipped to like talk about or really examine in the book was like, well, just the use of shamanism, and also how I think the Outlanders are kind of a little bit like a parallel to the Native Americans here,
Yeah.
and so like how they were written about. There were some parts that like you said, like the word savage and some of the tropes there that were kind of used again in that world, and made me wonder about the history and why they again ended up being the oppressed in that way. And like yeah, but I don't feel equipped at all to even have that discussion, but it's something that is kind of like on my mind, and I really would like to meet someone who's read it and is equipped to talk about it, so I can just be like, yes, teach me things. I don't know. Yeah.
Can I comment on that real quick before?
Yeah.
Okay. They're also, when they walked into the city, Rowan, like when they were asking him what language he spoke, he also said that he spoke Sioux and I don't remember what the other tribe was.
Iroquois.
It was Iroquois. Yeah, and so I thought it was interesting that the same tribe names existed. And then she said something about them being formerly Native Americans, but then earlier in the book, when she had used that term, he didn't know what she was talking about. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like a editing.
But there are
thing.
a lot of people that were the same but different.
Yeah.
Like I mean, they were they used the word Puritan at one point, and they used, but like there was the whole battery thing, and she was like battery, and he was like, yes, this so-called battery, and I was like,
Yeah, because like they have a bunch of the same things, but they call it different. Like when she was like, "Oh, this is the so and so river," he's like, "Yeah, actually, yeah, we call it the same thing," and like they were super surprised.
but it makes me wonder, like, what, like, if that's Massachusetts, like, where's everything else?
Yeah.
Right, like how did it develop? See, you get my rant from earlier. I have questions.
I know how it was developed. I know. I know where everything else is, guys. I know.
Okay. So, in conclusion, I have questions. That's
Okay. Were we allowed to pick prizes like for prize winners? Did we pick them like did we just pick them, or can we do them randomly? I was like really nervous about that.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Because like I had a really hard time like being like, these are both good candles.
Well,
So I just had to
mine.
clarify that I'm doing mine by chance.
I feel like my candle is the best candle. I just somehow it's up here. Don't know how. Anyway.
Okay, so maybe first I will ask the two people in our live show conversing with us a lot. Thank you so much for doing that. It like actually means the world to me.
I'd like to point out that she said to take a shot whenever I say
You're gonna have to watch it back. It can be your watch back drinking game later. But yes, so both of you, Jamie and Aphrodite, I like calling you that because like I feel like it's your aesthetic now.
True.
We have 2 books that Josephine Angelini is signing and sending out. And since you two came to the show and are conversing with us, if you guys want those, you can have them. If you didn't like the book and you don't want it, you can let me know in like DMs later, and I will do a different giveaway for someone else. But it's totally up to you if you want them. You can move on now.
Oh, nice. No one did my challenge, so I'm just gonna.
I did. I just didn't upload it.
Oh,
I know. I did them all together in one video, and I'm so behind on editing. I still have to get my like Blackathon TBR out and everything. So I was like,
wow, I feel you.
this is just gonna be some random video that pops up, and people are gonna be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm gonna be like, "What are you doing here?"
But it's gonna be hilarious. I need you to upload it because you were talking about it, and I feel like it's gonna be like one of the funniest things ever.
I love it.
It's not going to be one of the funniest things ever, but it's going to eventually pop up on my channel, and people just have to deal with it, and that'll be like, that was Thursday's content, guys. That's it.
Well, the rest of us now have backstory to it, so we'll think that it's really funny because if it's the one you were talking about, how you were going to hate yourself while doing it, I'm ready.
I think we'll all comment immediately when it's posted, and so everyone else will just be like, "Oh, we don't know what's going on. That's on us." That's what we'll do. We'll try and
right. Yeah.
Perfect. I guess I should pick the winner for my challenge real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So from all the entries, all the magical, all the amazing people who did this awesome Galaxy Jar challenge, I even have. Wait, where'd it go? I have 2 of them, but this one aged better.
I love that one.
So,
Like so pretty.
Special
I like it.
Mine
I
didn't
glitter on
age
my
the
hand.
best. So
No, this one did not age well. I'm gonna probably take this out and redo it. But this one, since it's just blues and stuff, it made it's okay. So out of all of the amazing entries, let me scroll through them to find. Okay, I'm gonna have to give my. Where did it go? I'm gonna have to give mine to Jamie. If I can find it. Yes, Jamie. You did the thing, right? Yes. So
You did the thing.
Jamie won a literary tee from Literary Tees on Etsy. And that's great. So you DM me, Jamie, and we'll work out the details, and we'll get you some literary tea because tea is great. And I just drank a whole cup of it, and
that mug is so cute. But
What?
I accidentally microwaved this cup earlier, and it has metal on it, and it was really pretty for like a second. But anyway, so talk. Yes, it is Christmas for Jamie. So just message me, and we'll figure it out and get you some tea. Yeah. Anyway, next person.
I'm gonna do mine. So I mean, the only people that I found were like, oh, hello.
Sorry.
But honestly, like I had like 3 I think to choose from, and mine was pretty. I'm not gonna say easy because I don't want to like offend my BFF, but. My one that I chose was Aphrodite. I loved what you did. You managed to make it like actually like fit. And then I just
and the blue she used was perfect.
It worked really well.
Yes.
Also, just a quick shout out to her highlighter. It was great.
So basically, we all love Aphrodite.
Or highlight. I just said highlighter.
Okay. Although if Katie ever watches this, Katie, I still love you, even though I didn't choose you. She's watching How to Train Your Dragon with her boyfriend right now.
Aw.
So.
I was trying to find the picture of the makeup because I didn't get to see it. Where
It's a
is
little
it?
video. It's really dope.
Yeah, it's really good. I just had so much fun. Like, for the people who did participate, like, they all went out. Mine is gonna look like not even like hot trash, just like mild, like lukewarm trash.
Yeah.
When my video does come out, 'cause
I'm
I was,
watching the video.
impressed with it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I accidentally turned it on with the sound, but oh my gosh, that looks amazing. That looks really good. I like the little.
My treat for eyeliner, honestly. That stuff is my shit.
That looks amazing.
Cait is in
Queen.
awe.
Yes.
And like
okay.
you're seeing it like her live reaction. It's great.
Like this is.
That's how we all were.
Yeah. I'm looking for a Willstone because I'm trying to figure out how she did this magic. You know. That's amazing. I love it. Okay, it's great. Okay. It really does. I'm gonna retweet it.
So I have my 2 candle entries. Aphrodite, I'm pretty sure, unless I somehow missed it, I had Jamie and Honoree. Honoree. I hope I'm saying that right. I had those as my 2 entries. If you did a candle making one, let me know, and I'll look at it really quick and like add your name. But those were the only 2 I could find for the candle making challenge. So,
Me too, I think, because I was looking at
double
all of them also.
okay, I just want to double check because I tried to look at everyone's challenges stuff and I didn't want to mess up. But I'm pretty sure I just have these 2 and I didn't want.
When I originally made my like video, I realized that I made it like as TBF along, and then I was like, oh my god, it's TBF read along. And I had to go back and change it. And I was like, mother death.
Okay.
I don't know if I would want to trial by fire along. That sounds intense.
Jump in the pile with me.
Oh god.
For some orgasm magic.
Hey, that's pretty impressive shit.
Okay, so I had Honoree win. And she did the challenge. She had a video for the candle making challenge, so that's awesome. I don't think she is in the video chat.
I don't
Does that-
think so.
Does that mean like she still wins?
She still wins, yeah. We'll just contact her.
I'm like, can I still give it to her? Like, so much anxiety with this kind of crap.
And
You did great.
Mine was the Willstone making, and Brittany and Jamie both made necklaces. And Jamie, you made me laugh when you commented. You was like, "My Willstone making skills are just as bad as Lily's," and I'm like, I love you. But this one I did kind of a like random name generator thing, and Brittany won, so I will be contacting her. I haven't seen her in the chat, but that means 4 people won, and then Leah's gonna buy herself some art.
Oh, I'm really excited I get to support Megan.
Okay, wait, Leah, are you going to have Megan do like alternative art of you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe I don't know. I probably will just ask her to do something that she has fun with, and I'll pay her money for it. Just have fun. Here's some money.
I was gonna offer to like I was gonna offer to buy it from you or something because like because I really like I really liked that challenge. I was kind of bummed that I couldn't like participate, like I couldn't win the prize.
That's how I felt. Now I guess I get it. So it's fine.
So yeah, we're gonna hit up each other's DMs and work something out because I swear to God I did it, and I want I want my prize.
I was kind of surprised no one did it because, like, maybe it's because I'm so not artsy. Like, your challenges are amazing, but they stress me out because I was like, this is going to be terrible. No one needs to see this. And so I thought, oh, you just like pretend to be someone else for 5 minutes and you film it, or like you take a picture of yourself not looking like you. And I thought maybe this will be easy, and then just no one did it. And it wasn't easy for me either because I had no sound. It was like a whole challenge.
Ordeal.
That was dope. That was such a cool.
That was a masterpiece.
That's
I
actually one of
loved every
my
moment.
favorite videos, like, ever. Watching that, I rewatched that. I was like, actually, I want to watch that again. I really loved it so much.
I had a lot of fun with the opening. It was kind of a last minute inspiration that felt like a story.
Really good. I also think
I laughed throughout it, so I appreciated it so much. Like, it made my whole night when I watched it. And then I watched it again. So.
Oh no, thank you. Okay.
You're welcome for the extra view.
Like, oh no, people are gonna see this, but it's good that you guys seem to like it. Thank you for boosting me. And you all are talented, and I was just there.
I was gonna film mine the night I actually got into a car accident, so that's why I don't have one. So I got home and I was like, I don't think so.
Oh my god, I would now I feel bad for shaming people.
I mean, I wouldn't have won the prize, so it's fine. But yeah, but I'm thinking, I don't know, I feel like it'd be a really cool tag. Like alter ego tag.
Yeah.
So like
True.
I think we should all still do it. It's like I think it'd be fun.
That's why I was thinking, like, when I watched yours, I was like, this is relevant, like,
To
even
BookTube.
if you're not part of this challenge, this is just relevant to, like, BookTube. And, like, yeah, like, picking, a favorite book and, like, reviewing it as your alter ego, that just sounds like a good time. Like, that's a solid skit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You know, I actually got I'm only semi ashamed of myself, but I started reaching out to people that like did skits or like any other stuff, and I was like,
Wait,
this
Cait
is
just
she did. She left and then she came back.
okay.
Yeah, I was reaching out to people to do challenges that I thought would like do really good at challenges. So like people that do skits, I was like, oh, you should you should check this out. You could win something. And then like still no one did it. So I you know, halfway through the read along, I got down on my hands and knees and I started begging like a peasant, but it's fine.
And even your charisma can save my challenge. This you tried. I appreciate you.
It was a good challenge, though.
It was.
Also, I loved watching everybody's challenge videos, like them actually making them. It was very entertaining. It was really entertaining.
I feel like if you all want, I will actually try to make those things, but I'm only going to send it to you privately because I don't think no one else needs to suffer.
I'm just
so bad at it.
I made it seem like, oh, candle making. Yeah, that's about 6 minutes long. It took like 3.5 hours, and I'm still like wiping the candle wax off of like different parts of my stovetop.
Same.
So like,
It's funny because I finished mine and then I messaged you, Jade, and I was like, that took all day. You're like, I know. I was like, that is so evil. Why didn't you warn me?
See, like, I didn't do it because I was just like, I only have like I live by myself. I only have a few pots and pans, and I was like, I'm not chucking wax in this.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I bought a special glass. I think if you guys watched my vlog, I bought a special glass like measuring thingy for it.
Like I was like, oh man, you probably should have done my challenge. Like you should. I should have been like, show them how to do that thing. I'm gonna give them a prize.
Like, and that was it.
Here it is. But but yes, I enjoyed every challenge that was like done. I don't know. Even if they were people that weren't reading the books, like it was just still fun to like watch them do the challenges because I like getting people to be creative.
And this is my new favorite necklace. So,
Oh, yay!
That's so good.
I love it. And it goes, it itches a little if I wear it too long. But yes, no, but it's really, I like it a lot. And it's shiny and sparkly, but also black. Like, and I just, yes.
And the
I
beads on the side are nice touches.
Thank you.
Very
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I just want to like take a moment to thank Sarah for like bringing us all together in this way. And, you know,
Absolutely.
I think it seems like everyone had a lot of fun with the challenges. And, you know, I think we all feel, maybe I should speak with everyone, but I certainly feel closer with you now that like I've read your favorite book and that you wanted to share that with us and share that with everyone. And that you got to connect with like the author of the book that you love. And I think a lot of positive, amazing things came from this. And it's really all because of you. And like that you had the courage to do that because I think it was kind of a vulnerable thing to do. So I'm so impressed by you. And I'm really grateful that you like asked us to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you.
I 100% agree
It was
with that.
definitely a very vulnerable thing to do.
Yeah.
Like I felt very naked.
Not unlike Lily.
At least we don't have paintbrushes.
So true, because then I would have to make out with one or all of you. So you know, paintbrushes, they do crazy things.
It's true. It's really true. I've heard that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm like, thanks to you guys for, you know, sticking with me in the book, even if you didn't particularly love it. Leah. I'm not shaming
Didn't Leah
you.
finish first,
I
though?
could have used another edit pass, maybe.
But,
Oh God, where's my blanket?
I'm still
You don't
so
book shame
happy.
here, okay?
Right. I'm still so happy that you guys participated. And this live chat alone gave me so much to think about also with the book that, you know, when you read something yourself and have no one to talk to about it, you're like, oh, I never would have thought about that or something like that. So like it was fun reading it for the 4th time and then getting some like, you know, new people to, you know, open my eyes to new thoughts, because when you read books, you know, 4 times, your thoughts are, you know, pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I feel like the longer we talk in this, I just dropped my phone. The longer we talk in this, like I was coming with like more and more things that like I didn't even realize I had thought about. That's so much fun, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
whose favorite are we reading next?
Oh my God, really though?
I love this. Absolutely love this.
Book club.
Yes. Oh my God. I
mean,
want
we
Cait to choose
should.
the next one since she suggested it. Reading another book. Or wait, I just put you on the spot in the live. You don't actually have to. I'm sorry I said that.
Wait,
But you
who?
can if you want to. I don't know. I'm gonna. Someone give me my thing of shame.
So much fun doing like not including Cait, no offense, love you. But
Yeah.
when we had with the fox, like that was so much fun. And like #Suki forever.
That's true.
No, that was a lot of fun. I mean, that we just did ourselves and then kind of like video chatted with each other. But like going live and having like other people to talk to about it with us also, I think, is really fun. So maybe this is something we should talk about.
Yeah. Also, Cait, next time I accidentally crash a buddy read, I'll bring you with me because that's what I did in this scenario.
I know. It started out with just Jade and I, and then everyone else was. It was a full-on party, but the live. It wasn't a live. Our video chat was just so fun too. So we should do it again. But yeah, so maybe I should end the live show. Thank the people watch. It says 5 people watching. I don't know how many of that is us.
It's
having
not
screens
because my phone's on the ground.
Okay, so there's, you know, Jamie and Aphrodite. I adore both of you for being so like interactive with us and made everything so much better. And then I feel like there's lurkers in there somewhere, so thank you guys. But yeah, so this is me saying goodbye. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.